Hello, and welcome to another Scottish mountain walking guide. For today's episode, I'm going to climb Geal Chàrn in Monadhliath, one of the 3 mountains in Scotland to be called Geal Chàrn. This is also one of the safer mountains to climb in the winter, as there are no steep sections with cliffs or crevices on the route. There is a steep drop off around 300 metres to the east of the summit. If you've come to that point, then you're well off course. Most of the walk follows a well-worn, very wet, boggy peat and heather path. I did this walk in January, and as you'll see from the video, there was a lot of frozen ground around. The total distance is 13 kilometres with 658 metres of ascent. It is expected to take around 4 hours and 20 minutes to walk. Parking is in a small car park at Garver Bridge. Parking is free, there are no height restrictions, and you can probably fit around 15 cars there. It's around 2.5 hours drive from both Glasgow and Edinburgh. The closest public toilet is in Laggan, 20 minutes drive away. Starting from the car park, you head northwest and cross Garver Bridge itself. Shortly after crossing the bridge, you'll turn to your right and go through a gate. You're walking along a gravel road at this point. It then comes to a fairly newly constructed metal bridge. At that bridge you turn to your right, cross the bridge over the river, and immediately after the bridge turn to your left. And you're going to follow the path that goes up alongside this river here. On the actual day of the walk, there was a tree that had fallen down and blocked this path here. There is a sort of rough 4x4 track that goes this way, and it would be quite easy if you're not paying attention just to walk straight on and take that path, as we did the last time we did the walk. Before you go beyond the end of the trees here, you want to turn to your left and follow the path, the footpath that goes along the grass and bog here. This path is easy to follow, it's well worn, but this ground is very wet and boggy, mainly made up of heather and peat. Continue to follow that path. Right at this point, there's a stream that comes down and joins this river here. It's quite a broad stream, about 10 or 15 feet across at this point. So when you come to that stream, you want to turn to your right and start heading more in an easterly direction. You have the option to cross over the stream at this point. On the day I was there, with it being quite frozen, it was not the easiest to cross at this point. And so I chose to follow the path. There is a path that continues eastward up as you ascend up the side of the stream. And I kept following that path. And then you'll see quite clearly where to cross over here. It was also a little bit easier to cross. I actually went slightly further up just to get some shallow water. It was easier to walk on the rocks in the water rather than try to walk on the rocks that are out of the water because they were covered in ice from the splashing of the stream. Cross over the stream. This section is very boggy. It's not a nice section to cross over. But you'll make your way following the path or going around the side of it if the conditions underfoot are better. And continue making your way up the ridge here. It's quite a broad ridge, nothing particularly steep on this walk. Nothing that you'd be concerned about if you had a little slip in the snow. You continue to make your way up. It starts to get a bit rockier, I would say around about 850 metres. Path gets a bit firmer just below that, but there's still plenty of heather around. But once you get up to about here, it gets a bit rockier. And then you'll come up and it'll start to flatten off, and there's a little bit of undulation as you go across the top here. And then you'll come to what is quite a rather large cairn at the end. As you can see, if you were to go off the path, it's about 400 metres to this point where there's a steep drop off and about 300 metres to this point here. To return back to the car park, you simply retrace your steps, heading from the summit in a southwest direction, and then just make your way back down that ridge. And cross the peaty bog, cross a little stream. In the actual video, as you'll come down here, you can see that people have started to cut this corner. There was a slight faint path cutting the corner here. You come back along the side of the river and then follow that back down, cross that bridge, walk along the gravel trail and cross Garver Bridge back to the car park. Good morning at the car park at Garver Bridge. Oh, it's a bit windy and a bit cold, but the snow's melted. You can see the summit up there. So from the car park, head over the bridge and then immediately turn to your right. Path goes along there. It's just after 8:30 in the morning. Still plenty of ice around. And just cross the bridge, turn right. You'll follow this road for a little bit, this gravel road. Car park was empty at 7 AM, it's filling up now. You'll come to this bridge, you want to cross the bridge on your right, and at the other end of the bridge, follow the road to the left. We're going to walk along on the right hand side of this river. You can see a couple of walkers ahead up there. We just follow that round for quite a few kilometres actually, before we head up onto the mountain. So you do not follow this sort of farm track. You go off that and then follow the path. That's a loose term for it. You follow this trail that goes alongside the river. Fairly sure that's the summit straight ahead. Not very much snow in it. It's a lovely morning. The wind's a bit cold and the ground is very frozen today. The majority of this walk is quite an easy walk across this moorland. It can be quite boggy in the summertime. Just now all the water's frozen, which is also a little bit slower going. You've got to be careful where you put your feet. So we continue round here and you can probably just make out there is a stream that comes down right about the centre of the frame there and joins up to this river on the left. And it's where you join that stream, you turn to the right, start going up a bit, and then make your way all the way up. I've now come to the stream that joins the river we're walking up the side of. So when you come to this little stream, you bend to the right, follow the path that goes up the right hand side of the stream. A little bit further on it's going to cross over. I think there's a couple of options. I think you can go further up the stream and then cut to the left, or you can cross sooner and go up there. We'll see which path looks the best. I followed that stream up on the right hand side, took the higher path up the side of the stream. It's at this point you cross over this little stream and then join the path there, and then it'll bend to the right and then kind of go up the ridge. Top's not far away. With all the ice and the rocks in the river, I've just come up a little bit further to a shallower part of the stream. This way I can step on the rocks in the water and they won't be icy, and then cross over here. Not far to go now. The icy sections are a bit tricky to walk over and the wind's picking up. Looking into the wind, doesn't look like we'll have visibility for much longer. Definitely getting quite windy at the top. It's just a short ascent of steepness, and then it'll get a bit shallower. Still a bit of a way to go to the summit. It starts to level off now. It's even clearing up a little bit. Still got about 3/4 of a kilometre to walk to the summit. Heading northeast. You can just make out the summit cairn in the distance over there. Just coming into cloud. There is some visibility over sort of in the northwest. At the summit of Geal Chàrn. If you stand right here just behind the cairn, you get out the wind. But other than that, it's very windy. It's clearing up a little bit. From here, you simply retrace your steps, head off southwest, and just go all the way back down the same path you came up. So from the summit, just going to retrace our steps straight back the way I came up. Just descending a little bit, it's starting to clear up quite nicely. Still windy. Once we get down a bit, sort of halfway down this slope, the wind should calm down again. And the sun's even come out. You'll probably notice from the time lapse that I've not been walking on the path. I've deliberately kept to the left of the path, trying to walk over the softer, less frozen, mossy and heather ground. Walking on the hard ice is just not very comfortable. I will keep doing that, heading straight ahead to join that stream again that I crossed earlier, and then go down the side of the stream. Leaving that stream, it looks like people have started a little path that cuts the corner around here, and given how frozen it was right down near the river before I turned up this stream this morning, I'm going to just go across here. You can easily tell where you're going, especially with people ahead. One last look back. From here it really is a gentle walk out other than the ice. The gradient's just nice downhill. Just go straight ahead, follow the stream, it bend round to the right, then back round to the left, round behind where that tree line ends, and then you're almost back at the car park. Time is 12:20. Eventually getting out of the worst of the wind. It's been windy all the way back. Sun's out. It's just round the corner where we join back up to the road that goes back to the car park. Back at this little bridge, cross the bridge and then turn to your left, and you can see the car park from here. Just about back at Garver Bridge. If you've watched to this point, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be another one next week. Bye for now.